they kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, what do you think? Would you like to do it?
Yeah.
Initially, a very daunting proposition because I'd only been there for 11 months. Like, I was still, pretty fresh. And a lot of the stuff that the head analyst was doing, got exposure to, but obviously that responsibility would then fall on me. Yeah, it was daunting initially to think about, would it be nice if they got someone else in that I could learn from?
Yeah.
But I was like, if I'm gonna go anywhere, you kind of got to take a leap of faith and just throw yourself in the deep end. Yeah, so glad I made that decision.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Sports Grad Podcast, the ultimate guide to make it in the sports industry. I'm your host, Nathan Peroni, and on this podcast, I chat with people in industry and find out how they got hired into dream jobs in sport. If you want to know what people are doing to break in and grow their career, make sure to follow the pod and subscribe to our newsletter for even more advice. Or if you want to give yourself a competitive advantage in the job market and put your career on a rapid new trajectory, go to our website and apply for the next cohort of the Sports Grad Method program. Here at Sports Grad, we've helped people land 853 jobs in sport, with today's shout out to Leah Rizk, who recently got a full-time position in sport working for Sports Grid as a customer support specialist. Leah has been grinding away at casual roles in sport and now gets her full-time break, which is super exciting, so congrats again, Leah. Now, coming up on the show today is Riley Bull, Football Analyst at St Kilda Football Club. Riley started his journey to a career in sport lacking a sense of direction, but now finds himself in one of the most incredible positions on a match day for footy fans, in the coach's box for the St Kilda Footy Club. Riley has put in countless hours honing his skills and growing relationships in the sports analytics space, knowing just how hard this part of the industry can be to break in. Unlike business administration jobs in sport, which often offer greater number of roles, football analysts are a niche market with a high demand. Riley's growth at Port Melbourne in football analytics set his career path on the right trajectory, and his reward for effort now allows him the opportunity to support Ross Lyon and his coaches at St Kilda with team and opposition analysis from a defensive point of view, something many would dream to do for their favourite team. So grab a pen and enjoy this chat with Riley.
Hey guys, Ruben Williams here, founder of SportsGrad. We'll be back to the episode in just a second, but I just wanted to take a moment to tell you about the SportsGrad Method program, which has been helping people land jobs at major sporting bodies in as little as 14 days and doesn't require you to take out a massive debt to get started. If you are looking to make a jump into the sports industry, but nothing seems to be working for you right now, then why not apply for the SportsGrad Method program? Inside, you'll get given a proven playbook and a one-on-one industry mentor, as well as access to the SportsGrad network, plus much, much more, all of which have helped people land over 800 roles in sport. If you're ready to back yourself and fully go after your career and not let life get away from you and wonder, what if I'd only given that a shot? Then you're the kind of person who we'd love to work with. So head to sportsgrad.com.au/program and you can apply to join us.
Riley Bull, welcome to the Sports Grad Podcast.
Thanks, Nath. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, mate. We've come a long way from high school, playing soccer socially still. I've seen you go through a massive journey in your career, and I'm very proud to see where you are now. As you can see, wearing the Saints proudly.
Sure am, yeah.
Saints are going all right this season?
Yeah, going all right. I think we'd like to be a win or two better, but it's we're not result driven. We're process driven. We're definitely on the up. Some close performances, but things are improving, which is always the positive.
That's good, and I know we'll get to a very special story you were part of last year later on. So stay tuned for that. Accreditation wise, what have you got for us?
I've actually got my first year in the industry at the AFL level. The pass that
Incredible.
we use to obviously get into game day, get into the venues.
Yeah.
Get around the joint.
Do you know what the A, D, and C stands for on there?
It's a great question, actually. I think I
imagine one of them is the coach's box.
The C is the coaches.
Yeah.
Coaches box. I think A is like arena access. D, I'm not sure, and I'm not the
other ones
there
are
are
blank.
3 missing.
Yeah.
Some people have all 6 and get the whole full ground, full venue access.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So no, I know the C's the coaches, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
the A's the arena. But yeah, the D. I'd have to ask someone about that.
Very special first year, like you say, with the club. So
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that in.
No worries.
We like to start with some quick fire questions just to get a bit of background on you before we jump into more of your career. So firstly, what inspired you to work in sport?
Growing up, sport was always a big part of my life. Playing like Oz kick when I was like 6, and like always just being in footy, like big footy family. Watch every game, go to as many games as I could as a Brisbane supporter growing up. So yeah, always wanting to be involved with sport was a big passion of mine. It was always like a bit of an escape as well. You know, a lot of things that go on as you grow up, and like a lot of pressures, you know, trying to make your way through the high school into the early adult years and stuff like that. So yeah, sport was always, you know, the happy place and something I really always enjoyed. And yeah, so getting to work in the industry now is,
Love it, man.
been awesome.
Very good. First ever job, and then first ever sport related job.
Yeah, well, first job was with you back in the Macca's days.
Yep, shout out to Macca's officer.
Shout out Macca's officer. Yeah, so worked there, obviously with you for a couple of years, which was always good fun. Had some good times.
Yeah.
And then first sport job, actual like role or like casually or
Anything that was paid, I guess, from a sport.
yeah. So that would be Port Melbourne. So when I became head of analysis and technology, there was my first part-time role.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We'll get to that soon and speak to that in more detail.
Yeah.
After high school, any extra study?
Yeah, they were, kind of like moved around a little bit. So like initially I didn't know what I was going to do, and I spent, you know, a fair few years, like obviously the later years of high school, people start understanding and figuring out what they want to do. But I kind of was not in that boat, didn't know what I wanted to do. So I initially hadn't applied for anything. And then literally just before like everyone was starting uni, I applied for a Bachelor of Criminal Justice. Got into that, started that, kind of had a health thing occur, so I fell out of that, and then didn't really know what I wanted to do for a few years. Tried a few different things like job wise, and then I studied with Richmond Institute, who are like connected with Swinburne. Did a dual diploma with them, so like diploma in sport management and a diploma in sport. I'm trying to think of the sport high performance area. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the word, but it's not coming out.
That's all right. There is it's quite common now. There's
the
Institute of Sports and the colleges of sport, like they're popping up.
But it was really just like covering the whole industry.
Yeah.
But like really everything you could think of was covered in that 1 year course. So opened the eyes to anything that you might be interested in.
Still connected with anyone from the Institute at all?
I might talk to someone here and there that I went studying with. But not one. No one like commonly.
Yeah, that's okay. One interview question you were asked to answer for the job that you're in?
I think probably the main one I remember was like an example of work that I did that helped impact like the game plan or what we're trying to instill in the players to try and do.
Yeah.
There was like a piece of work that I did at VFL level that I did that over the time we realised, if we actually did this, like our chances of, you know, a combination of things occurring actually improved. So we put that to the players, and you know that became something.
Did you present that visually in Saint's interview?
Yeah, a bit of I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, sorry, not like visually, like the
like a presentation
dashboard.
or something.
Yeah. I showed them like a piece of what it would look like.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. And the last one on the quick fire is, if you could try another job in sport for a day, what would it be?
Yeah. I probably like I could apply this to any sport, but I like the being able to be out on the ground, like the trainers and stuff. Like it's always pretty cool being out on the ground, like live in game.
Yeah.
At breaks and stuff, but like being out there when plays live and it's like just the players, the umpires, and then there's you as a trainer. Like I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously when there's an injury, it can be a bit stressful for them.
Or an injury for the trainer, like
the
Hawks
Hawks.
recently.
Poor bloke, double hammy.
I must say the Hawks did a really good job working with that. and playing into it, like
Yeah.
socially.
Yeah, they've done.
I think they did really well with it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Maybe in a future life, Rolls,
maybe
you can be a trainer as well.
maybe.
So I want to take you back to start of more of your sporting career. Yes, this wasn't paid, but first exposure to data analytics with Premier Data.
Yep.
So a 5-month internship back in 2021. So how did you find that role originally? And did you happen to cross paths at all with our last guest, Ryan Patterson?
So first off, getting into that, opportunity came up through Richmond Institute. So they had like a jobs board, like a whole list of jobs you could go and apply for and do work experience and placement with. So it came up there, applied for that, and yeah, they took me on board as an intern. And crossing paths with Pato, I didn't, unfortunately, because I only went maybe 2 or 3. It was locked out. It was peak COVID time. So unfortunately, we're going in and out of lockdowns, and there was no local games being played. So there was a lot of old vision that we were practicing and learning how to code and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, didn't quite get the full experience, unfortunately. And yeah, didn't get to cross paths with Pato. But
despite it not being like as valuable because of COVID, was there much that you learned and took away pretty quickly that you're like, this is still something I'm fascinated in?
Yeah, I think the whole process on how they get the stats, like, so obviously what Premier do is similar to what Champion Data do for AFL and VFL. So that whole process of how they get those numbers was interesting. So obviously, like, they use a coding process, like code windows that goes through vision that links up with the vision. So like, yeah, understanding how that all worked, it was interesting. Because like a lot of my early teen years and going through high school, like I'd sit in front of the TV with my laptop open in Excel spreadsheets and just take numbers and stuff like that. So like I was like doing it a hell of a lot differently to like how it's actually done. So that was interesting, getting that perspective.
I know you did love doing massive Supercoach breakdowns and stuff with data and numbers, right?
Yeah, still doing that.
And you still do it with and you do it with locals. Like, we still play five-a-side soccer, and you don't do it anymore, but I know there was a period where you were doing that as well, which again shows probably the over and above of just fascination with it. That no doubt helps you to get to where you are now.
It's funny, I still get thoughts of, I wish I was still keeping that. I wonder how many clean sheets how many goals everyone scored.
The next one, which I think is probably the biggest reason you've got to this position, is the time at Port Melbourne. So you did 3 years at Port, which for those listening is a VFL team, independent, and so you were a football analysis intern before being promoted to head of football analysis and data after a year. Again, with this one, how did you find the role, and then what did it involve? Probably in that first year, at least.
Yeah. So finding the role again through Richmond Institute. So that came up like a lot later in the year. Really like the last month of my time there. Someone reached out from Richmond and were like, hey, this opportunity's come up. Like, we know you've been interested in like the analytics and that side of thing. I think this would be really good for you and you should put your name forward. So yeah, I've sent my application through and had an interview, and they took me on board for the 2022 season as an intern. And then so early on it was a lot of like coming to training, filming trainings in pre-season, and then like getting familiar with the tools that we get like available to us. So how we get the data, where that's stored, and then trying to like build things to maximize like how that's being presented to the coaches and stuff. So that was a lot of the initial early doors side of it, and then like learning how to use like program we use called Sports Code.
Is that
like getting
common practice around industry?
Yeah,
at AFL level.
Yeah. Definitely, it's probably our biggest program that we use. Very important.
Is that something people can like try to learn without being in a footy club, or not really?
Nah, probably not, just from the vision access side of things. Being able to use the program and learn it you want to try and align it with vision, so you know like what you're looking at and like how to code and all of that. So and the ability to like access and all that like is pretty tough.
Yeah, makes sense. In terms of like other interns, I know when we spoke there was a few of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many others were there, and then ultimately you got that promotion? But was anyone else kept on?
Yeah, there was one other kept on. Initially, I think there was about 5 of us initially. But as we went on, like someone would drop, and then another person would drop out, and then I think there was about 3 of us consistently for most of the season.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, there was 2 of us. And then I got promoted.
Do you want to tell us how that actually comes about? Did they just tap you on the shoulder of like, well done on a great year, someone's left this role, or they've just created the role for you? Like, how did that look?
Yeah, so the head of analysis at the time just landed a job in WA cricket, so he moved over there. So obviously the role opened up, and it was the head coach at the time, Adam Scrobelak, and the football manager, Glenn Bamforth, who were deciding what to do, whether they try and find someone who'd been in at that AFL level, that experience, or whether they looked at one of the interns who spent the year there. So they had that discussion, and they kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "What do you think? Would you like to do it?"
Yeah.
Initially, very daunting proposition because I'd only been there for 11 months. Like I was still pretty fresh, and a lot of the stuff that the head analyst was doing, got exposure to, but obviously that responsibility would then fall on me.
Yeah.
It was daunting initially to think about, would it be nice if they got someone else in that I could learn from, get more experience, and then, take that step. But I just said, why not? And
I think that's the right attitude. I know I've always felt you learn more when you just get thrown in the deep end, which I'm sure is the exact same situation here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was like, if I'm gonna go anywhere, you kind of got to take a leap of faith and just throw yourself in the deep end.
Yeah.
So glad I made that decision.
Yeah. The other thing with this too is some people travel a fair bit to work as well, but I think the bit I admired from your end was you were traveling an hour or so plus to get to the ground to do this, amongst other things. It wasn't like it was your local around the corner, which became easy. So I think that was maybe a show of commitment too that I respected from afar.
Yeah.
In terms of the structures and resources to a VFL level, of course, it's very different to AFL. How many coaches were you working with? And these players aren't full time either, obviously.
Yeah. So the coaching panel set up pretty common, set up in across VFL, AFL. They still have a backs coach, a mids coach, forwards coach. Obviously the head coach, and a head of development. Working with all those guys. The resource-wise was definitely different because it was just me as the paid analyst. My first year as part-time, one of the guys I was interning with was paid as well, so he was there. And then we had just one intern. So at AFL level, there's an analyst usually for each line coach.
Yeah.
Which obviously makes it a lot easier for the coaches and the analysts because they get to focus on one area, whereas obviously head analyst, you're focusing on everything while trying to accommodate for all their needs, for every coach's need.
Did you find that challenging to know where to focus your attention? Or are they saying, hey, we need more attention on the forwards at the moment or the backs at the moment?
It probably wasn't too hard because a lot of it was based off the head coach's instruction. So I would obviously go off what he wanted initially, and then there might be, and he would be obviously in constant communication with all the line coaches. Mm-hmm. So if there was an area of focus or a group of focus, I think we'd all work together on that. Yeah. So from if it was a backs point of view, if there's something breaking down that that we want to fix, it would be all of us looking at that.
And from memory, you had James Hird. You crossed paths for a small period of time, is that right? Or you just left to go to the Saints?
Yeah, very, very brief, him and Brendan McCartney. That's right. Adam Scrobelak had just left Port Melbourne at the end of 2024. Yeah, I'm trying to get my years right. 2024, and so season ended, and they had just gotten Brendan McCartney and James Hird on board. And this was before I had any options come up. So like the Saints opportunity, and I had another one with Melbourne as well. So I briefly had conversations with them, and like Adrian Dodoro as well. He was coming on board there to help with list management stuff.
Some good names to be learning off.
Yeah,
was brief.
Yeah, I had some good conversations with them, and like Brendan McCartney was really keen to keep me on board and stuff like that. So that was nice, and obviously like I hadn't really done much work for him, but obviously like I presented things that I had done over the years, and more recently that year, and they were pretty keen to keep me. But,
lots of it, mate. That doesn't mean you can't reconnect with them later down the track.
Yeah, well, exactly right. And they were really nice guys and stuff. And they're doing good stuff, like doing good things now at the club. So it's
unreal.
Good to see.
The last one on Port I just want to speak to is like how much work were you doing over and above what was required? I know there was always a lot of work over and above. Yeah. They would never ask or expect it.
Nah.
But how much, if you had to put like in hours into a week, or just even things that they weren't asking you to do, were you doing?
Definitely well and truly over and above. And like. So at the time I was working part-time at Woolworths, so I was doing a lot of like 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. sort of shifts. So it was a lot of like the night to evening work. So during the days I was able to really spend a lot of time on that sort of stuff, like with previewing and reviewing and project work, and like trying to make things better, like with what I was providing and stuff like that. So I was able to spend a lot of what was free time to commit to that. It was probably over even full-time hours that I was committing. But like I really loved the work, like really enjoyed it. So like it didn't really feel like work to me. So
it's a very cliche you hear in industry, but like that's so true.
Yeah.
And the fact you were doing that over and above, I still think is a massive play from afar as to why you have got to where you've got to. So well done with that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
This is a bit of away from sport, but I just want to speak about it. So you had some, I would think, still valuable experience in analytics away from sport with a company called Marigold Supply Chain Solutions. Do you want to just speak to the value you got from that? And like, is there anything that is transferable? Because maybe there's people that are in that world that are trying to get into sport that helped with the Saints.
Yeah, I'd love the shout out, by the way. Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of lots of big data.
Well, maybe just explain what they do, maybe firstly as well.
Yeah. So they're a supply chain and logistics company that work at the moment with Coles. So they manage a lot of suppliers. So like for me, like I was managing like McCain, Heinz. They do like all big companies that go through Coles. So like all your everyday products on the shelf, like we're managing the supply and logistics, between the company and Coles. Mm-hmm. So we're that middle party. So we're doing a lot of stock and transport organisation, and managing a lot of like looking at sales and like promos and like planning and try like finding like products that are outperform or overperforming in stores, and like
are you trying to find efficiencies? I guess.
Yeah. So you're trying to like maximize like how can we get stock into like DCs that then get into the stores quicker, or if a certain range of stocker is like exceeding the expectation of what would be sold, like how can we get more of that into stores, or trying to find what's working best for the company and for the supplier.
Which again, they still kind of translate into how can we be better on a field to get a result. It's like
exactly right. So like the products performance in stores is like players' performance on the field, sort of thing. Like if we're gonna try and like correlate the two.
No, so that's fair. And like we have a lot of people that come through sports grad that are trying to transition careers. Maybe not so much in this space, but it's a valid conversation, like a valid question. People will be like, how can I transfer not sport experience into something like what you're doing? So, now, the main one obviously want to speak to is what you're doing now at the Saints and the hard work that's got you there. So you started 2025 part-time as football analyst, and now full-time into your second year. Do you want to speak through how you got the role firstly and what it looks like game day versus non-game day?
So how I got the role, Yeah, it was that time. Scrubber just left Port Melbourne. Brendan McCartney, James Heard were coming in. So that was an option for me. Melbourne had reached out to me as well. They were looking for a VFL analyst to come join them there, and then I'd get AFL exposure through them. So that was an option too. And then one of the analysts who I'd connected with throughout the years at Port Melbourne from the Saints reached out to me saying that they're looking for a part-timer to come on board. It was a closed process that they were trying to ask around and look for people. So
they weren't advertising publicly for the role?
No, not that one.
Yeah.
He let me know, like, yeah, we've also got this coming up. Because I had actually called him and gone, like, what should I do? Like Port Melbourne or Melbourne? Because they were both VFL. So I was having that conversation with him, and then he's like, so now that we've spoken about all of that, we've actually got this offer coming up, and I've put your name for it. I'm like, oh yeah, no worries.
So it was like deadline day for you.
Yeah. So like, I was like, oh wow, like now there's 3 options, like lots going on. Obviously that was part-time AFL, so it's like, yeah, that obviously would have been the one I wanted to land, to get that next step exposure for me.
Were the other ones full time at all, or they were still part time?
Still part time. Yeah. Obviously, like, yeah, Melbourne would have been a good step up if I didn't have Saints, because I would have been going in on AFL review days and working with the coaches there and stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Saints was just sole AFL, which was an exciting opportunity to land. So yeah, then first interview was with the 3 analysts. Oh, sorry, 3 of the 4 analysts at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was the main interview. Went for like an hour. Went pretty well.
And is that all just more personal stuff, or they were speaking much about? Like, I imagine there's no real presentation or anything in that. First.
No.
Yeah.
No. It was, a bit of personal, obviously a bit of experience, bit of like problem solving as well. So like trouble, like, because obviously we from the tech side of things as well. Like, there are things on game day that we got to fix and we got to do as well. So it's like, if this, like, there was a question about like what was one time you had to troubleshoot like problems on game day. So there's a bit of like, a lot of experience and personal questions, like just trying to get a real good understanding of where you're at and who you are and how you'd fit in. And obviously, like, it's pretty competitive, and they're trying, like, you're trying to find the best people to come on board who suit the role and also are able to perform in the role.
Yeah.
So that went well, the first interview. Then they rang me, and second interview was with Ross. And
just on your own.
No, so I had that was so the analyst who didn't come into the first one was in this one. Jared Rivers, who was the back coach, was in there. Ross was in there, and there was one more person in there.
That's a big panel too. Was it 4 people?
Yeah, 4 people. It was more casually. It was a more casual kind of chat.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember. Yeah, I think Ross just wanted to meet the people who they had chosen from the first interview into the second chat. Just to see.
Did he ask you anything specific that you can remember? Or
not
really?
I actually can't remember. It was a lot of like just personal questions, like how you'd like fit in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty cool.
That's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
Not even before you got the job, you're already meeting the coach. In the second round. That's cool.
Yeah.
And from role perspective.
Yep.
What does that look like on game day and then non-game days in that first year?
So part time was tough a little bit because obviously you're not there all the time. But game day, we'd get there. We usually get there early, and like for me, that still hasn't changed in terms of the role, part time, full time. But we get there a few hours early, set up the box, test all our comms, our vision, get all the data and like all the visual stuff that each coach has and uses. So get all that ready, and then like in game, we're really just trying to problem solve as things are occurring. And trying to like obviously identify them early. We'll like see what's breaking down in those areas and get fixes on those and how we can adjust to what the oppo might be doing.
And I don't think we mentioned, but you're defensive
Yeah.
An analyst. Sorry.
Yeah. So I look at the defensive side of the game and work with our backs coach, Jimmy Allen now. So we're getting vision for him for halftime to show the players if there's anything pressing that we need to show. Really we're looking, like from my point of view, looking at the oppo, like their ball movement and how we're defending that live in game, and then we're also, if there's issues occurring tech wise, like trying to troubleshoot as we go and fix all that, and then so that's really, and then obviously like post game pack up and get all reports out and stuff like that. So
is there much review that happens for you guys post game, or not really? Small footage that you will then use into 2 days later at training or whatever like that?
Yeah, so like we'll review the game the next day. Post game on the day, we won't, like there'll be general chats on things that occurred.
Yeah.
So like sometimes the players and the coaches will chat after the game, and then once they're gone, like us analysts, like once we've packed up the box, usually like an hour later, like we're all just like in the meeting room, like we'll just like have general chats on things that broke down, like just get that initial what we want to look at over the next day or two to prepare for when we all meet back together and sit down and review the game and then put that in front of the players. So then, the next day, we're coding the game and looking at the specific things that we look at, and then putting that all together. We got like data. We got like visuals and data sources that we put all the coding into, that we can track the trends and stuff like that. So then we could see if it was just an outlier. Has it been a problem for a consistent problem? Is it a specific problem in that game, or even the trend of that?
Yeah.
And then we'll look at those examples and find the best examples to put in front of the players. And there's a sports code program called Studio, so we might edit things within that to make it easier visually for the players to understand on what we're trying to communicate, or what the coaches. Sorry, I say we. What the coaches are trying to communicate.
You're still part of the coaching group.
True. What they're trying to communicate to the players, and what we need to get better on, and also what we're doing well. So obviously, we show examples of, when it was good, this is how it looks when we actually do it well. But there were obviously times where we didn't do it well.
Yeah.
We throw it to the players and go, well, what could have we done in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of the review side of it. And then for me, I put together a defensive review. So I'll break down each area, field area of the game.
Yeah.
The specifics within each those that we look at in depth and in detail. And then a bit of a trend on each thing. And, if there's an area that over the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been a bit of a problem, it gets flagged.
Yeah.
There are certain areas where it spikes up and down, good one week, bad the next. So it's we'll touch on it, but we really focus on those ones that have been a problem consistently.
How much of this is, I guess, proactive solutions, of you're going out of your way to find something or identify something, versus the coaching staff or players hey, I want you to look at this? Yeah,
a lot. So my boss and I, Darren O'Shaughnessy, worked really hard over the pre-season to put something together that automates a lot of champion data, coding that we get. So we're able to, within certain coding that the time codes that we get, we're able to put parameters in place that help us identify things that we're looking at,
mm-hmm.
which helps us then go back to the vision and go so say our defensive midfield area was really poor. We can go, well, actually this specifically was poor. Which then so that's the proactive side of it, that it's the detail part that we're able to provide the coaches, and they go, oh, it was actually this. So then we can identify it was actually this specific part in the way we want to do something that occurred. So then we can, and that can align with what the coaches are seeing too, and they go, hey, we're seeing this, you're seeing this, that aligns, the numbers agree. So that's what we need to need to look at. Yeah.
And then how are you getting measured like on your performance in your role, would you say? Like what are some like key targets or, I mean, I can't imagine it's all being like, well, we're going to have the best defense in the league. But like, yeah, is there some key targets that they identify for you in the role?
Yeah, it's really just like, it's more like how we're presenting what we're doing to the coaches and like our efficiency with our work. Obviously, like, you could take your time and take a number of days to send in your review. But like you could like obviously get it done within a day and send it there. So like there's obviously like time frames we work under to try and give our work to the coaches and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of it's like that piece around the communication and what like things we're doing to provide better process or help with like smarter decisions and stuff like that. So obviously it's hard to use like game metrics to analyze our performance.
Yeah.
So like, we could be the worst defense in the league, but like it kind of, it can fall on me a little bit, but it's obviously like not fully on me. Like I'm not going to lose.
Yeah, I understand. I get you.
Like,
yeah. I wanted to ask about like relationships with players and coaching staff. I guess that's one part of the cool aspect in this position that I think most people would be envious of.
Yeah.
Like how do you find a way to build those relationships and like have trust with these people?
Yeah.
And then is interstate trips like a really beneficial thing for you, especially like to be like in a casual environment and just be like more friendly than away from the seriousness of training and match day?
Yeah. So like building the relationships, with the coaches and stuff, super critical. And like a lot of that, we actually do it like in the more human side of it. So obviously we talk about the game and stuff and, and like what we want to improve on and do. But yeah, it's a lot of those, just the human interactions and like your normal everyday sort of stuff. The jokes, the banter, there's a lot of that. Like it's a fun place where we all can like bond and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the relationship building from that side of things is, not so focused on just the work aspect. There wouldn't be a lot of like enjoyment in that, I feel.
Understand.
So we have a lot of that fun, those fun moments.
Yeah, that's
a
good.
lot of laughs and stuff like that. And the players as well. Like we have a lot of that good relationship with them too. Like it's not all just footy. So I think that's really
you need
important.
It. Yeah, definitely. And the last one I want to talk about on the Saints is the biggest comeback at 3/4 time in the history of VFL, AFL, and you're in the box.
Yeah.
And to add to the story now is that you had an offer from the Demons as well, and now it was St Kilda versus Melbourne.
Yeah.
Do you want to just take us inside the box at 3/4 time? Obviously, the transition is a lot more goals in that last quarter rather than defence, but I'm sure the defence held up as well. What did that look like at 3/4 time? And then tell us the reaction when Nas kicks a goal and wins the game in the box.
Yeah. Well, obviously, like you could probably imagine, like 46 points down. It's a grim look at 3/4 time. Obviously, we're still trying to find ways on what can we do to like. Is there a certain mode we can use? Is there certain ways like ball movement changes that we can make to help us get forward and put some scores on the board? Is there magnets we could obviously the coaches talk about the magnets they can move around to try and change things up, make it a different look for the oppo to think about. But yeah, obviously like 46 points never been done before. So obviously the natural feeling in the box is we'll how close can we get and see what happens. But it's probably it was a 0% chance before that game. And then the start of the quarter, it started pretty well. I think we kicked a couple early and at 8 at the margin. And then it kind of like stalled out a little bit. So again, we're back to trying to, stalling out. We still need 5 goals. What can we do to, what can we do? and like, is there anyone from them starting to get on top in that period that we've stalled? Like, what can we do? And then, kind of just, kicked on again. And then, obviously the last couple of minutes, history a little bit.
Is there much coaching going on in that last couple of minutes still? Or is it just like a pure adrenaline of, especially it's the last minute, there was 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there much the guys can do up there, or you kind of like it's just out of our hands?
Yeah, it's hard because obviously like the runner can only go out like between goals. I think there's a couple of messages outside of that they can go out.
Yeah.
So like once it's used up those out of goal messages, like you can't really do too much. So we're relying obviously on messages given to the players on the bench to then go out and give to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
So those last couple of minutes, couldn't really do much, but obviously, watch how the players responded in those moments, like, and a lot of it was obviously on the players, like the 666 bit where they were trying to organise all the players, like Naz and I think it was Windy and they were trying to get, and I think it was Hilly in the forward line trying to like get all the players to go to one side, and Anthony Caminiti on the wing trying to get out of the way so Naz could run through and take that mark, and Rowan Marshall as well on the centre bounce. So like a lot of that was on the players, like their own instinct, and obviously that's helped by the coaches as well. Like we plan for those situations as well, like win game and save game. So a lot of like obviously moments in training we can, like the coaches help with that as well. Yeah. It was a bit of like but obviously a lot. It was pretty much all down to the decisions the players were making, and it was pretty incredible.
Biggest pinch moment working in sport?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was. We couldn't believe what was going on in the box. We're all looking at each other, and like obviously there's shots of Ross, like getting excited and happy, and it was. We all just we were stunned, like couldn't believe it. It was
the whole footy world was.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah,
I'd imagine it was a pretty good celebration down the rooms after. Well.
yeah, and obviously post as well. There was a post-match function already planned.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was in Brighton. We do usually have like 2 or 3 games post where we would like meet up as a club and have a few drinks, and obviously that connection piece and
with that admin and everyone.
Yeah. So they can all come down as well. But it was just fitting that was planned for that game, and
very timely.
Yeah. Obviously, Naz on Ross's shoulders and stuff like that. So it was a pretty it was a big moment for the club. Yeah, I think it was a real we're not going to be pushed over sort of moment. Like we'll fight to the end.
It's a special moment for you. Like there's not many people in the world that could say I was in the biggest comeback at 3/4 time and you in the box.
Yeah. And obviously footy's been going for 150 years. And those sort of comebacks probably more like more of a chance to occur more in the last 20 or 30 years, where like the game's grown a lot more in terms of like the skills and the ball movement and stuff like that. So like for that to occur was insane.
So special. Very happy for you. I want to speak about some more reflective things on your career and challenges for industry. What do you think some challenges you faced breaking into sport at the very start? Yeah,
definitely the amount of people that want to get into like from like my sort of role, for example. Like I know, like obviously like a VFL level, like people probably don't think of it as anything beneficial, like because obviously it's like low pay to no pay, and it's a lot of like sacrifice time. So like they probably like try and just look at AFL and go like, oh, this is the role I want. And like I know with our most recent hire in our analyst team, there was like 250 applications. Yeah, wow. So, and a lot of them were like people who had like next to no experience. Like they just like they think they can but there's obviously a lot of people that do have that experience as well.
And it's an attractive role.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very challenging to get into. And like I applied for a role at Melbourne. There was like over 200 applicants there. Collingwood as well, like over 200 applicants there. So a lot of people want to get into the role. And obviously AFL is the biggest sport in Australia. and
Yeah.
it's attractive to try and get in the
Of course.
with that coach and player aspect as well, like getting all that behind the scenes and
But I suppose
coaches
those
want-
relationships, like you spoke about before,
Mm.
is part of why this opened up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a career direction perspective, I feel like there was a bit of this. Like, did you ever feel lost, and like, how did you decide this was the career path you wanted to do?
Yeah, no, definitely there was some challenging times, like throughout the years, like there was a lot of moments where it's like, am I actually going to make it? And especially when you get knocked back once and then twice, and it's like, am I like, what do I need to do? Like, how can I get myself above all these people that these clubs are hiring and stuff like that. So yeah, there was a lot of challenging moments, and like I remember, like there's like even like times where we have like bad runs, like at VFL level, like you put in a lot of work, you don't feel like you're getting rewarded for it, and then like you lose a number of games. Like you feel those losses, like because obviously you put in so much work, like looking at Oppo and previewing. And then reviewing as well and trying to help the team get better, but it doesn't feel like that's happening. So there were times where it was like, are you gonna make? And there's obviously that pressure of getting older too. Like, you start getting into the early 20s and those sort of years, and it's like you got to try and start making your way in life. And you're just not sure if that's happening or not.
Yeah. But it's all worth it in the end of the hard work. And that's something I kept telling you.
Yeah.
And you've put in the graft, and this is where you are. So
exactly right. And if you're so passionate and, you believe that you can do it, like there's no reason to stop. Like you can make it work and keep going. And
yeah, you're a good story for people to learn from. And in terms of making it in sport, I know you sort of mentioned it, but yeah, when you've landed these jobs, what do you think's made you stand out the most?
Yeah, I think my biggest strength is like my ability to present information and data and dashboards and stuff I can create using the data we get. Obviously, you can get like a whole lot of data in an Excel sheet, and like you filter and you get to the end point. But like being able to create things that help the coaches understand what they're reading, and especially the in-depth side of it. Like being able to present all that easily for them to understand. Go, oh, like this is what I'm looking at. These are the things within that. Okay, that all makes sense and stuff like that. So that was like a big thing for me, how I present all that. Both review, preview, like season tracking stuff, competition data, all that. I'd say that was my biggest strength. Yeah.
Love it. And in terms of like mentors, influences on your career, do you have a couple, and like what advice have they given you over time?
Yeah, I got probably two big ones. One of them will laugh at me because I work with him. So the first one would be the coach I worked with at Port Melbourne, Adam Scrobelack. Obviously, spent 3 years with him there. He was a big advocate for, obviously, he chose me to take over the head of analysis role. He was always like, pushing me to get better, trying to help me, with opportunities and grow and stuff. Like he helped me land the role at Marigold in supply chain, and he's always been a big believer in me and trying to help me push forward. And even in tough times, like I would speak to him and he'd help like give advice and support and stuff like that. So he was definitely really big to help get to where I am today. And he helped me, connection wise, in a lot of places, and helped me connect with the next biggest person, which has been Chris Mackay, who's an analyst at the Saints, stoppage specialist is his role, whatever we call him. Scrub helped connect me with him because they worked together at the Saints as well, before then Scrub went to Port Melbourne. Yeah. So I met up with Chris a couple of times, and he gave me a lot of like really good advice on, because obviously, and he's been at Saints since 2011, 2012. He's one of the most experienced people, going around. And he gave me a lot of good advice on things I can focus on, things I should be like, trying to help the coaches with, what I can do better, things I'm already providing that are like really good and stuff like that. So yeah, he provided a lot of really good advice from the times that I sat down with him and had chats with him, and he was really good with like his time. Obviously, like can be really hard in season and stuff like that. We're really busy, so he spared times on a Sunday and stuff like that to come and have a chat with me, and so that was really beneficial. And obviously, he put my name forward at Saints and as well. So, and even to this day, like there are times where we'll have chats on how we can improve things and what can we do to help deliver things to the coaches and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, they sound like some incredible impacts on your career now and no doubt into the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a bit of a playful one, but if you had to go back in time and someone said, I'll give you $1 million if you can land a job working as a sports analyst and you got 30 days, what would you do?
Yeah, it's tough considering how many people want to get into it. The big thing, and this is probably on the basis that sports code was available to everyone, but I'd definitely be trying to become an expert in that, and try and look at the game with the vision available. Like if the vision was available to people in that 30 days, like being able to look at the game outside of just following the ball. So and obviously that's a big thing for me. Like defensively, I'm not looking at our ball movement. I'm looking at how we're pressuring the ball or setting up behind the ball, or looking at those sort of things. So being able to look at the game, not ball watching is the term that we use.
Do you look at footy now different? Like, can you watch footy the same now?
No, I don't. No, not really. I know when even I go to games now, you do look at behind the ball a fair bit, and you're not always watching the ball, and you're seeing how teams are pressuring and setting up, and how they're trying to lock teams in their front half and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely been different. It was probably a little bit. I remember I went to the 24 grand final, and as a Brisbane fan, that was probably the last time I've been more of a ball watching into the game sort of person. but yeah, since then, you can't.
You see it in a different way.
Yeah.
No, that's completely fair. Obviously in a great position now with your career, but if you didn't pursue this career in sport, what do you think your life would look like?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because obviously between finishing high school and landing the part-time job at Port Melbourne, I did a lot of different things. There was a period where I was trying to become a pro gamer. Obviously trying to pursue that, and even at there's a moment here or there, it's like, oh, that would have been so good to keep going. Obviously, and I got a decent way, but just the scene in this in Australia, and that's tough. So there was that. There was always thoughts of becoming a police officer and working in the police force. Always something that interested me a little bit. So probably may have pursued that.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I applied for a lot of data roles. So I think I would have tried to keep going down that path of working with data analysis and in any industry. As well. So yeah, there was a few different avenues that I
found your happy place now, though.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
And the question from our last guest is, if you could fix one thing that's wrong with the sports industry overnight, what would it be and why?
Yeah, it's a tough question.
You can tailor it specifically to footy if that makes sense as well.
Yeah. The biggest problem, I think, it's hard because you don't want to be full access to everyone. You know what I mean? There's obviously things you want to keep behind closed doors, but if there was a way to provide more access to the world, and I think we're starting to do that more now. I know we did a documentary, Hawthorn have done a documentary, and other clubs have as well. And I think just being able to show how we do things and give that insight for people who do want to get in sport, and and this is in any role, how it's done. As a sports trainer and stuff like that, what do things that they do, what are things that are good for people who might want to get into that they should know, like as an analyst, what are things that we do? Because like there are probably like a lot of the week to week things like people probably don't realize that we actually do.
Yeah, of course.
And in game and on game day and stuff like that. So I think probably just like that wall coming down a little bit. Obviously, like not a full bring down of the wall, like because there's obviously things that we want to keep behind closed doors.
Of course.
So like
I think
everything.
You make a good point though about the other roles. Like so often it's about the players and the coaches, but it's like no one really else knows what goes on.
Yeah.
Again, from like a sport
people,
administration or just job perspective, like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good to see more of what goes on and why this happens and who does this. And,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And from your end, what is one question you would like to leave our next guest?
Yeah. I think like I know like NFL's coming out here in September, which is obviously like a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
And that'll be pretty exciting. But yeah, I reckon like the growth of our game, like how can we get our game out more internationally into international markets, and what avenues can we pursue to help grow the game worldwide? Obviously, we want Australia to be the biggest country with the sport. Like obviously soccer, there are a number of countries
of course,
that are big. But how can we grow the game in international markets to get more people on board? Because it's the greatest game on earth.
Great question. Look forward to it. Well, that's all from me, Roz. I really appreciate the time to come on. It's been good to just reflect and know more about the ins and outs of your job, like we speak in passing, but probably hearing all the stories in detail has been good. Like I said from afar, very proud of what you've been able to achieve so far, and long may it continue into the future. So hopefully the Saints can win a flag in your time as well, and you can break some history there. Like what's that, the 60s last?
Yeah, something like that. It's been a long time for the true diehard Saints supporters, but we're doing our best. We're trying.
So fingers crossed. But thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you around.
No worries. Thanks, Nath.